nothing to apologize for. It is a tragedy that Charlie Kirk was killed in that way. I feel for his widow and his children. They will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. But there is no legacy to honor. It was a legacy filled with bigotry, hatred, and white supremacy. Mm-hmm. And as a Black woman and as a Muslim in this country, I refuse to join the chorus that changes the history of what is on the record from this man. But I am not going to be bullied into complacency, into, dishonoring who I am and what I stand for just to, make them feel comfortable. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
What a nasty witch. He was one of the nicest human beings I ever met in my life. And listen, witch, that's exactly why you're going to end up with somebody like me. Joining me now, Monica Paige, White House correspondent, also Turning Point USA. Just a nasty hag, and this has been unbelievably common since Charlie Kirk was murdered. These people pretending like he's some barbarian. It's wild to me.
Yeah, Jesse, she's a disgusting woman, and it really hurts my heart to hear Democrats, specifically those like Ilhan Omar and many of those anti-American Democrats who aren't even from our country to begin with, who are saying these despicable things, and they don't even know the amazing things that Charlie Kirk did. He bridged a gap between Republicans and Democrats in a way that nobody else could. He touched the hearts and the minds of college students. That's not an easy thing to do. And every single day, I feel like I'm reminded of the amazing work that he's done. He's pushed me personally to become not only a better person, but also a better reporter. He's pushed me in ways that I don't think I would have ever been pushed if I worked for anybody else. So it's going to be a really tough road moving forward, but it is a job that we are so excited to do and carry on. And we just cannot listen to people like Ilhan Omar. We can't listen to people like Don Lemon. We have to keep ignoring that noise, and we need to keep pushing forward. We have work to do. That's for sure.
She mentioned what she stands for, against what she stands for, but she did not elaborate. It's funny how often communists do that. What does she stand for, Monica?
I have no idea what she stands for. I think she stands for anybody else other than the American people. And I'm baffled every single day as to how she's even in our country doing what she's doing. I mean, this is a woman who's actually married to a white man, but also married to her brother still. This is somebody who doesn't have any sort of morals or values that benefit the American people. And quite honestly, I think that she and other radical leftists are the best thing for the Republican Party. I mean, President Trump said it best. People like her, people like Zohran Mamdani are gifts to the Republican Party. And we should probably just let people like her just keep talking, because it's better for us the more that she speaks.
Yeah, maybe I should get her on the show. Somehow I don't think she'll accept that invitation. You mentioned Don Lemon, and you mentioned being married to a white man, and so that seems oddly appropriate. He came out and said this.
White men, something is broken. Something is cracked deep inside when so many of you believe the answer to fear, to loss, to change is violence. Wake up, white men. What the is wrong with you? But you're too dumb to even realize that, because you're lazy and sitting in front of a computer or a phone and you're just eating it up. Oh, my God, look at what they're doing. All of a sudden, my heritage is going to be over. That I want to live in a country where white kids go to white schools and white people marry each other. What is wrong with that? I want to grow up in the country that my great-grandfather grew up in. That country doesn't exist anymore, asshole.
Well, I think he said a lot right there, Monica.
Yeah, he said a lot. And Jesse, honestly, I think you owe everybody an apology for being a white man. You are the enemy. It is your problem, and it's your fault why we are here in this spot. I think it's hysterical that Don Lemon won't call out that it's 6% of the population that commits half the crimes in our country. And Charlie Kirk was very vocal in the crime in our country and who's behind it all. And I am old enough to remember when Don Lemon spoke about the problems that the Black community were facing. He actually spoke about, what was it? I think it was the top 5 ways to fix the African American community. And the number one thing was fatherlessness. And the fact that he's completely flip-flopped on this and made it about white people, just adding to the division in our country, you should be ashamed of yourself. He's married to a white man. So is Ilhan Omar. And the hypocrisy is on new levels that I didn't even think could be even reached. And to his point, saying, oh, white people want to be surrounding themselves with other white people. They want to send their kids to white schools. They themselves have self-segregated. They want to live in Black communities. They want to send their children to Black schools specifically. They want to marry within their own culture. And so what if white people want the same? That doesn't make us racist. That just makes us wanting to be with our own people. They do the exact same thing, Jesse.
Yeah, it's funny how people act when that shoe gets on the other foot. Okay, let's shift gears here because Israel-Gaza is something that's been going on for years, and I'd see all the poll numbers on this. This is an issue that most Americans have kind of checked out of. I realize there are people who care a lot this way or that way, but most Americans are kind of checked out on it. Donald Trump wants it to end, wants this thing wrapped up so he can move on. Are we close to getting that done?
I wish we were, Jesse, because this new plan that was just unveiled this week has really proved to be phenomenal. He wants to create a peace board where, you have a specific governing force in the Gazan region to at least try to maintain peace, because you really can't have a strictly Palestinian state. We see what happens when something like that happens. I'm very curious to see what happens, because Israel apparently agreed to this deal. They're just waiting on Hamas. But unfortunately, I don't think a force like Hamas will agree with something like this, because they just strictly don't care for peace. And President Trump gave Israel his blessing in saying, listen, if Hamas doesn't want to agree to this, you have my full approval to do what you need to do to keep eradicating this problem in the Middle East. You say a lot of people are kind of tired of this. I'm one of them. I have serious war fatigue between Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas. I'm pretty sick of it, and I'd like to see an end to this. But a lot of this is very dependent on Hamas, and only time will tell if this is going to be, again, something that can be fixed, but we don't know.
Monica, I don't sit here and pretend that either of us can crawl inside the mind of a jihadi like Hamas, and nor do I really care to, but they can't continue. Physically, their military strength, from what I understand from my sources, is just evaporated. I don't care how committed of a Jew-hating jihadi you are. If you're out of guns and you're out of men, the war is over. What's the plan?
Right. That's exactly the question that I think is on everybody's minds. And I think that's the question that this administration is currently facing. Because, when you keep stealing the aid, when you keep, using human shields in the region, there's no peace can ever be done. You're not going to release the hostages, both dead and alive. You can't reach that next level of peace in the region. And I think a lot of this is very much up in the air, unfortunately, because no matter how many deals you keep trying to make, I don't know if you can even make a deal with terrorism. You can't make a deal with terrorists at the end of the day. So I wish I had a solution. I wish this administration can come to a conclusion, but it's got to be a both sides want to end this war. And clearly one side doesn't.
Yeah. All right. Shifting gears here. Trump came out, and the pharmaceutical industry is all hot on everybody's mind because we're all tired of paying what we pay, and we think they're a bunch of corrupt scumbags. This is what Trump said.
Pfizer has agreed to offer countless prescription medications at major discounts in the United States as a result of the most favored nation drug pricing order that we established earlier this year. As you know, the United States is paying sometimes 10 times more than other countries for drugs, and a lot of excuses were made for that, but it went on for many years, many years, decades, and it's not going on any longer. We're going to be paying the lowest price now. We're going to be paying whatever the lowest price is, favored nations. This will save American taxpayers and consumers hundreds of millions of dollars.
Monica, what's going on here? What is this?
Well, this is clearly President Trump completely reinventing the pharmaceutical manufacturing companies and the entire pharmaceutical industry. This new investment from Pfizer, I believe, is $70 billion, which is, strictly going to lower the cost. It's going to bring this manufacturing and producing back to America and essentially have Americans save more money when they need their medications. We're going to be paying what other countries have been paying. And we also know that the president is also he just announced a new Trump RX government website where you can literally buy your medications through this new website, completely cutting out the middleman, which is also fantastic. So the president is taking a new approach to the way things have been done for decades. I think this is a great approach for those that need it. I think that this is a way that many people will have an easier time to getting their medications. I know over the last 4 years, a lot of people had some difficulty under the Biden administration, and I'm very excited and positive to see the president take this new approach.
Is it still cool working at the White House, or is kind of the bloom gotten off the rose?
It's still really cool. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen, Jesse. The president could be on the roof one day. He could be on the North Lawn another day. He could be coming out from the Oval Office on any other day. He could randomly call us into the Oval Office for a big announcement. So you truly never know what's going to happen. I will say, under the last administration, the year and a half that I was working under the Biden administration here at the White House, it was a snooze fest. It was very quiet. Nothing was happening. A lid would be called at 2 p.m. The day would start at 11 a.m. Because that's just what it was. So that part got old. But now when you just never know what's going to happen, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's hard to believe Joe Biden would run a sleepy White House. Monica, thank you. Come back soon. I appreciate you. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.